Hi, welcome to SEO Hangouts with Josh Bashinsky. I am the aforementioned Josh Bashinsky. If you've never seen the show before, SEO Hangouts is the finest SEO show on the YouTubes. We have the best SEO knowledge based on our very, very black hat, very, very secret, very, very intensive scientific testing that we do into the Google algorithm to find all of the Google secrets and try and give as much of that as I can away for free to you as I can without losing my shirt. Today is a shirt with What We Do in the Shadows. If you guys have watched that movie from New Zealand, it's fantastic. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. Anyway, that's what this guy is. He's trying to do SEO without science. And that's what happens when you try and do SEO without science. You turn and look into that guy. So don't do that. Try and do SEO with science, and we're the finest science-based SEO show on the YouTubes. If you want more information about that, email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com. We have a mentorship group where we give you all the secrets of how to kill it in rankings. Don't take my word for it. Don't believe a word I say. I have proof. I have evidence and proof for you. By the way, evidence and proof is the first thing you should be asking anybody for. If you're not, you shouldn't be listening to any free advice without them proving to you first that they know what they're talking about. And here's my proof. I want you to go to bit.ly/SEO proof. I will even show you. Here, I will share my screen and I'll show you what to do. It's a full tutorial. I want you to go. Make it big. There we go. I want you to go to bit.ly/SEO proof. That's going to take you to Dropbox, and in Dropbox, you're going to see all kinds of examples, 251 examples of my group killing it, of my group getting better. Oops, I don't rank Google on that one. Of our sites going up, of our changes having an effect, of ranking suddenly starting when there wasn't before. More changes, more obviously getting better. There's a student who joined and showed their wins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on and on. There's 251 of those. I would not suggest you listen to me unless I could provide that, and I just did. So please go to bit.ly/SEO proof so you can see the proof for yourself. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, I would like to do a couple of things. I would like to show you what my favorite SEO tools are that I like to use in 2019. What are the best SEO tools in 2019, moving to 2020, that you need to worry about, that you need to use? I'd like to show them all to you if I possibly could. Before I do that, by all means, please put any SEO questions you have in the top right-hand side. If you're watching live on YouTube, I will get to the SEO questions right away. Also, I'm more than happy to do an SEO checkup for you. If you put your site in the chat on the top right-hand side, I would be more than happy to do a site checkup for you and run your site through Screaming Frog to show you all of your stuff that you're doing good and all the stuff that's hurting your rankings and holding you back and all the stuff that you're missing. And I would like to give you as much information there, free information as I can possibly, but I can't do it if you don't share your URL. So share your URL on the top right-hand side, and I'll get to that in a second. And also, if you have any SEO questions, please ask them on the top right-hand side as well. Now, so as promised, what are the best SEO tools to use in 2019, 2020? You might be surprised as to what tools are actually worth using. There's a lot of tools out there that some are worth using, some are not. These are the ones that I like to use, and I'm just going to go through them in no particular order. This is not ranked in order of best to worst. This is just I like to rank them. So let me go here. Let me check here on YouTube, make sure people are watching. Okay, good, fantastic. So I will actually take one of these URLs. That'll be good to do for that. Okay, so let me share my screen. So here, without any further ado, here is the list of the best SEO tools that real scientific-based SEOs, real SEOs that are succeeding, are using in 2019 to 2020. All right, the first one here is, and you should be able to see my desktop here. So the first one, and again, this is not in order of importance. This is just in order of when it comes to Josh's head to use them. The first one I'm going to use here is Screaming Frog. Screaming Frog has been around forever. It is definitely one of the most well-known SEO tools. Screaming Frog is exceedingly powerful. Not only does it give you complete access to your site where you can do regular expression searches and start cutting up the data and doing really special things like that. And this is a site that someone just applied in the chat. So I'm going to start. This is how you use it. You put a site in here. You press start. It'll start crawling that site. and you can check the response times as it's being crawled. And I'll just give a little tutorial of things out of here that is really good for Screaming Frog. So like I said, Screaming Frog is a really good SEO tool. So let me just show you some of the highlights out of it. Seeing that somebody did provide their site, I might as well do this all at the same time. In fact, so first here you see the response times. We got 51 URLs crawled. That is out of 51 URLs, let's see, 30 of that was HTML pages. So that's great, just a small little site, not a problem. And all of it responded under a second. So that's the first SEO thing that I'm going to mention. That is a good thing. Speed is a ranking factor. You definitely have to worry about that. So if you run Screaming Frog here, sorry, so let me just turn this off. Quiet. There we go. If you run Screaming Frog and you get over 1 second response times, that's definitely going to be a bad thing. That's the first thing I would check. The next thing I would check here is I start checking in order after you do the crawl. I would go up here to do the crawl analysis, and that's going to give me a number of things. One, if I had plugged in the analytics and Search Console and Ahrefs, I would get all that information there as well. But crawl analysis would also give me the link score. The link score is the oldie page rank as calculated by the old paper for your internal page rank. 100 is what you want to be at. The higher the number, the better. This would be a page rank of 10. If this site was the internet, these pages would have a page rank of 10. And these pages here apparently don't have any page rank at all. So they've been moved permanently. So that's not a fantastic thing. That's not what you want to see. I see that Ryan is also here. Hello, Ryan. If you said hi before and I didn't acknowledge you, I apologize.
Oh, I didn't say hi before. I just didn't want to interrupt.
Not a problem, man. So if you have any questions, go ahead and jump on in there. Ryan is one of my apprentices, kind of like a Padawan, kind of like a Jedi. I'm kind of like, I don't know, Yoda or Darth Maul, something in between.
I agree with that.
Pretty. And Ryan is learning the ways of the Force. So if you want to jump in and give any points there, Ryan, or have any questions, by all means, go ahead.
Cool, I will do. As I just popped in now, so I'm just kind of getting caught up to what's going on.
Sweet. So this is the old HTTP site part of it, and then we have some HTTPS stuff that's been redirected here, moved permanently 301. So really, the entire site seems to be just this site right here. The link score is the same for all of these, so that's perfectly fine. That's not ideal, but it's probably fine because this link score is probably not accurate. It's based on the 1998 or whatever it was, very late 90s paper that Larry Page and Sergey Brin brought out. I'm sure Google has updated that and is a little bit more sophisticated in how they're calculating PageRank. So I wouldn't worry about this. I would worry if like the services boiler repair and services toilet repair. This is a small local site. And these are the two ranking pages, pretty much, probably all these services pages here. These are probably the ranking pages right here that they care about. And if these had a lower link score than the rest of these other pages, then I would have a problem. But otherwise, this is mostly fine. And so that's a good thing. That's not a problem. I would check to see really quickly here. I could scroll down. I could tell you have no URL parameters. That's a good thing. You don't want URL parameters typically you don't want URL parameters in your website. You definitely don't want URL parameters being canonical. You don't want them you don't want them in the sitemap, and you don't want them in the main navigation. Now let's go through here to the titles. So these titles are okay. So I'm just going to go kind of quickly do the other stuff you could see here in Screaming Frog, so I can move on to the other tools. And anyone else who wants me to also give them a quick checkup in Screaming Frog, go ahead and put your URL in the chat. Put your SEO questions in the chat. I will definitely get to them as I go through all the different. I have got like 10 different tools to show you guys, so I'm trying to whip through this as quick as possible here. In the title, I see keywords. I see good Newport Plumbing Services and emergency plumbing. That's good. I see them short. The title width for some of them is a little long, but not too bad. 568 pixels according to Screaming Frog is the ones that are too long that are going to get cut off. So I do see this is not that bad, actually. I might be doing this a slightly different way. There's two separate ranking factors here that you're missing out on. There's two scientifically proven ranking factors, super secret ranking factors that we have scientifically proven to be ranking factors that only my group knows about, that you are not taking advantage of here. So if you want to know what those are, I'd love to push you further in SEO. That's something that my mentorship students have access to. Ryan, for example, is one of them. Email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com. I would love to let you know what those, push you in the right direction to find the information of what those two secret ranking factors are that we scientifically proved. You will be fairly amazed. Meta description. I don't like that these pages don't have a meta description, but they're not really the ranking pages. Services toilet repair should have a meta description. Boiler installation, emergency plumbing, and commerce. So you're missing on at least 2 or 3 ranking factors, scientifically ranking factors that we've proved here as well. You're missing out on, so that's not a good thing. Meta keywords, don't have any, that's fine. Mental note, do not stuff your meta keywords full. You don't have any, that's fine, that's not a problem. Meta keywords are not a ranking factor. We've scientifically proven them to be a diff factor. And as far as I could tell, there's 3 different kinds of ranking factors. I'll show you. Here. There's 3 different kinds of ranking factors. There's ranking factors, there's diff factors, and there's deranking factors. So meta keyword seems to be one of those. Some factors boost you up, some factors make you dance, some factors boost you, take you down. Essentially is how you would read that. So meta keywords is one of them. So I wouldn't worry, I wouldn't be adding them. It's good that they're not there. Hey, where'd it go? Here it is. Screaming frog. Here we go. Okay. H1s. Like I said, I'm going through this pretty quick. Oh, okay. So there's a couple things we're missing here. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranking factors that we've scientifically proven that you could be taking advantage of that you're not really taking advantage of here. So you're missing out for sure. That's not a good thing. Definitely contact me. Canonicals, you have canonical set up. Good. That's a fantastic thing. Any structured data kind of errors? Nope, no errors or warnings there. That's fantastic. Another nice thing you could do is in the visualizations, you can do an in-link anchor text word cloud. And this is one of the ways Google tells what your site is about and what's important to you and what you should be ranking for. And well, hey, that looks like it's supposed to be what it is, Newport Plumbing Emergency Services. That looks like exactly what it's supposed to be, so that's fantastic. And another visualization here is the body text word cloud. And oh, I thought I set up store HTML in my configuration. I thought I had that done, but it would do kind of the same kind of a deal. You have to go to configuration, spider, advanced, store HTML, store rendered HTML. Okay, I told it to do that last time. I don't know why that didn't get saved there. Anyway, so that's Screaming Frog in a nutshell. There's much more. There's analytics, there's Search Console, there's Ahrefs. There's ways to cut this data, to start searching this data, to start moving through it. On a smaller site, it doesn't look that impressive. Although at a glance, I can tell you immediately, okay, boom. There's these ones are missing. You need to fix these. You know, boom. I could export that out to a list to a writer and say, go fix that. Page titles. Here's Aura 568. I can export that over to a writer and say, go fix that, right? So from a project management standpoint, Screaming Frog is such a good SEO tool. It doesn't help you much if you don't already know the ranking factors, because I know the scientifically proven ranking factors that I've shown you the proof, only, the first 8 slides of 251 examples that we know the scientific ranking factors like no other group that exists, period, knows about them, because no one else has that proof. Because we know these ranking factors, we can use Screaming Frog even at a higher level, because we can at a glance say, oh, you're missing this. Oh, you're missing that. Oh, you're missing this. Oh, you're missing that. Et cetera, et cetera. We can very quickly, this is like our fMRI scan, where a very good doctor can immediately look and go, oh, here's a problem, here's a problem, here's a problem. I know exactly how to fix it. Export it out to the nurses. Here you go, fix it. And that's why Screaming Frog is such a good SEO tool, especially from a project management standpoint and an audit standpoint. After you've learned what the actual ranking factors are, you will be able to scream through sites and no pun intended, you'll be able to scream through sites and say, okay, fix this, fix that, fix this, fix that. You can handle so many more clients. It really is really a good tool. So if you want me to look at your site, just send me your URL in the chat, put it in the chat, and I will get to that. But meanwhile, I want to go to another awesome tool. That Screaming Frog is essential, really, if you want to do heavy duty SEO. And you already know the ranking factors. Here's another tool that is fantastic. It's called Cora. If you guys have never looked at Cora before, you haven't really seen my show very much, probably. Cora is the best, hands down. It is the best competitive analysis tool. There is no better competitive analysis tool for SEO. There is no better comparison tool for SEO. There's no better measurement tool for SEO. It is hands down. This is the best tool by far for SEO. It is the default measuring tool we use for our mentorship group, and it is scientific grade. This is professional grade, scientific grade, academic grade software for SEO correlation and SEO measurement. And there is no better tool. I'm also happy to say that Cora version 5, this is version 4.2, 4.82, Cora version 5, which is amazingly even better than this tool, which is already fantastic, already super essential. If you're not using Cora, you're not doing SEO. You really don't know what you're doing. Try Cora at bit.ly/get-Cora. That's another bit.ly link, bit.ly/get-Cora for 25% off every month. That's a 25% off link every month to use Cora. It is, I'm not pushing it just because, you know, Ted's my friend. I'm pushing this because this is, I push this tool because it is the hands down best tool. That's just the way it is. There is no better measurement tool out there. And when you see what's coming out in Cora 5, you will be simply amazed. This tool, which is already essential for SEO, is going to get that much better. So how does it work? Well, if somebody gives me a search query and a geographic location, I could show you how it works, and it very quickly puts out a report. For example, I would do like best mattress toppers. Did I spell that right? I think I did. Best mattress toppers, yeah. It didn't say, did you mean this? And then what I would do is I would click get data. And then what Cora is going to do is it's going to go through, it's going to calculate all this different data for all the different web pages on what's ranking for best mattress toppers, the top 100. And it's going to give me it's going to check over 600 factors. I heard Ted talking the other day that Cora 5 is going to test over 800 factors. That is literally 4 times the number of factors Cora is checking, just in case Google is using them. And that's 4 times more than what Google says they're using. Google says they're using 200 factors roughly, give or take. Cora 5 could check anywhere from 600 to 800 factors. That's going to be times 3 to times 4 the information that Google is apparently using. And so Cora is just fantastic. It is, if I was doing this in order of importance, Cora should have come first. Cora is hands down, you cannot do SEO without it because you don't know what the measurements are going to be. And if you don't know what the measurements are going to be, you have no, it's like trying to do carpentry without your measuring tape or on your belt. It really is impossible. So I can't say enough good things about Cora. It is a fantastic piece of software, and it's going to get even better. And very, very soon, Cora 5 should be released. So when that stops running, I'll show you the kind of report that it spits out. If you've never seen it before, try it at bit.ly/get-Cora. I don't know how long that link's going to stay there. 25% off every month. That's a huge discount. My mentorship group even has a bigger discount for educational purposes. If you're a member of my mentorship group, we have a 30% off discount. So if you're a member of my group and you haven't got that yet, better get it because, you know, discounts don't always necessarily stick around forever. So I would definitely take a look at that and check that out. Okay, so the next tool I want you to look at, again, this is in no particular order, and I'll get back to that core thing here, is good old analytics. Google Analytics gives you some information here that really is very important, that you can't get anywhere else very easily. Oh, that's what I forgot. That's the next. Here's another one I'm going to be talking about in a second. And sorry, my system's slowing down just because I'm running Cora in the background. So it gives you information here that really you can't get from anywhere else. information that is so important to determine what your quality is and what's going on with your various users, what your traffic is doing on your website. And it is very important information to provide strategic information. Like you can see, oh, the bounce rate is this, the time on page is this. You could tell whether you're making conversions or not. You could tell where the traffic is going, what they're doing. It's free. It's just a segment of your traffic if you have a really powerful site that has a huge amount of traffic, but that doesn't matter. This is still essential for SEO, because through tools like the users flow, for example, I can go to the user flow, and this is a bad site because I don't have a lot of pages on it. This is just my secret SEO.guru site, but I can do the group details, and I can see the different pages where the traffic's going to, and I can say, okay, just for example, let's say this was a real page and not just an affiliate link or a URL parameter. And I can say, oh, look, the drop-off rate's really, really high. I can make a list of the worst looking pages, and then combined analytics with Hotjar, which is a heat mapping software. When you have Hotjar installed, let's see if it'll let me sign in, then you can go to one of the pages. You can see the heat maps of where people are clicking around, what they're looking for. You could see recordings as to what they're actually doing on their site. And this, coupled with the analytics, narrowing down what pages you need to look at first, this really is the information you need to see what your users are doing on your site. And this is going to improve your conversion rate tremendously. And that's also very important for SEO for various reasons that we've scientifically proven that you would know if you're a member of the mentorship group. Just rest assured, I can't tell you exactly why it's important or how important it is, but it's really important. And that's stuff that you definitely need to take a look at. And so these are definitely two tools to use in conjunction. Analytics and Hotjar are definitely essential ones. You need to have these tools. You need to be looking at your conversion rate. Even from a sales perspective, you need to look at your conversion rate because you need to boost it up to make sure that your conversions are higher anyway. Even if it wasn't an SEO factor, which it is definitely a very, very important SEO factor moving forward. It has been for a while now, but it's essential. It's just essential for what I'm calling content vectoring and closing the loop. So I'll close those. What's the next one? Well, the next one that's essential, of course, is Search Console. Search Console is the tool from Google that allows you to see your Search Console, to see what's going on in search. So here's the one here for my, here's the new Search Console for secretseo.guru. And you could see that it's going to give you your performance here. It's going to tell you what you're ranking for, what your average ranking positions are, all the different stuff you're ranking for. This is just my mentoring site. I'm not trying to rank it for anything, although it is ranking for Private SEO Club, things like that, and for my name, of course, and stuff like that. That makes sense. So I'm not trying to rank it for anything. It's a single page site because if I try to rank this page for anything, then people will just reverse engineer what I'm doing, and then, well, then there's the problem. Then you'll know all my secrets, and I can't let Google know what I know. I can't let Google know what my students know either. So if you're Google, never mind. I didn't say anything. But if you want to join my mentorship group and find out the secret experiments we found out, they will literally blow your mind. Ryan, for example, that recent find that we found where we supercharged. How did you feel when you discovered what we discovered?
I thought it was pretty sweet. To be honest, it was actually kind of a wow factor. It was it's like surgery on Google.
Yes.
Right? It's like it's like you're planting something. Yeah, it's neat. It was quite actually astonishing.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that we found that from our experiment. So I just wanted to get another perspective on that. So it's just not my voice talking. Yeah. But yeah, no, the experiments we have there are pretty amazing. It's not what everyone else is finding. We're even above the other science groups, the other SEO science groups, and definitely all the SEO science groups in what they're discovering and what they're doing is definitely way above all the other just SEO groups, all the just blog groups or recommendation groups of best practices and SMX groups and stuff like that. Those guys really have no idea about. So anyway, getting back to the tools, You need to use this tool, Search Console. You need to use it for just a number of reasons. One, for example, you need to see if you have any manual actions. I've never checked this. It'd be funny if I did. Manual actions and security issues from Google that only Google can detect. If you have a manual action in here, then you're never going to rank. So you've got to have Search Console installed. There is no, this is essential to SEO. There's no other way around it. This has nothing to do with because I say so. Because look, if you have a manual action, if you have a manual penalty in your site, this is the only place you can tell that. So you got to have it. You just have to have it installed, or at least, and it tells you all your performance of how you're actually ranking and what you're ranking for on average as well. So like for Private SEO Club, for example, it's going to show you when you're ranking for it, how you're ranking for it, at what degree you're ranking for it. It's going to show you all these dots and dashes. And that means something special diagnostically. This tells me something actually special diagnostically of what's going on, how the impressions seem to go like this and how this goes like that. So this is a very important diagnostic tool for SEO. If you're not using it, then you definitely are going to be missing out. That's definitely something you need to worry about. So for sure, you need to also is going to show you your links as well, your top link pages, top linking sites, stuff like that. This is funny. I've never gone and this is the only link I've ever built for an SEO roundtable. I wonder if that's Barry's site. It's and this is as clearly a paid link, which it says on the site a paid link. It's not supposed to give any ranking juice, and yet Google is ranking this site for other queries that it really has no business ranking it for. I wonder. Okay, so anyway, you really need to have this installed. It's going to tell you about your any indexing problems you have going on. It's going to tell you about your mobile usability, any errors you have going on there. I obviously don't care. This is just an example. I didn't want to show any client sites in here if at all possible. So Search Console is definitely another one you need. So those are definitely essential tools. Other essential tools, webpagetest.org is not necessarily essential, but I find it very handy, and I like to use the same speed test because when I use the same speed test time after time, between Screaming Frog and between webpagetest.org, I get a constant kind of idea of we're pushing the needle forward or backward in terms of speed. So that's very important to use and do. But you can also use a couple different tools. You can use Google Lighthouse. Google Lighthouse would be the other tool I would use. I use webpagetest.org because that's recommended by Google, or I would use Google Lighthouse or Chrome Lighthouse, whatever it's called. It's built into Chrome, I think. I think you would just get it by going Control-Shift-I. I think in here under Performance somewhere you can run some kind of test or something. I've never used it before, but I know it's just Google it. You'll find out what it is. But I like to use webpagetest.org because I have a constant thing. I use 3G fast because that's supposedly, especially if most of your viewers are mobile, first view only, because that's what you have to worry about in terms of the SEO perspective. You put a site in there, you get an advanced waterfall look at what's going wrong and what you need to fix. So that is not essential to use, but it is 99% essential. You have to use some speed testing tool. And web page test is a good one amongst them. Don't just use Gmetrics. Don't just use Pingdom or something like that. That doesn't matter. That's not. There's 3 different factors you need to worry about here. There's multiple ranking factors built into speed. Multiple very important ranking factors built into speed that we've scientifically proven that you could be missing out on. If you just used Pingdom or Gmetrics and you thought, oh, it looks good, that's not good enough, right? So that's why you're not ranking, or if you are ranking, that's why you're not going to rank for very long. You'll be emailing me pretty shortly. So I would email me now and try to figure out what the important ranking factors there are, and I'd love to help you with that and push you in that direction. The next tool to use is another one that's not essential, but it's very handy. I like to use it. It's made by this guy, Tony McCreath. He's a SEO over in Australia, I believe. And he made this. He's had this out here forever. And he made this this title tool. So I think it's really, really good. And it's going to show you what your snippet is actually going to look like on Google. So I think that's a fantastic thing. So you could do like, wow, get the best red apples today, 2019 or something like that. Today here kind of a deal. And then, and in here we would add all the important words, sales words, keywords, scientifically proven words to get boosts. And this would tell you what it's going to look like and the different kind of stuff you'd be doing there. So that's a really good tool. It's at website advantage.com.au. Google SERP emulator. Just search Google SERP emulator, and you should be able to find it. So that's another tool that I think is pretty very, very useful. I know there's lots of WordPress plugins. If you're using WordPress, it will do the same thing. So that's fine. That's fantastic. So it's not essential. Screaming Frog is pretty essential. Cora is essential, hands down, period. Analytics and Hotjar are essential. Webpagetest.org is you need some speed testing tool, essential. This some tool to help you write good, clean, the most optimized title snippets. That there's multiple ranking factors there, very important ones that if you're missing out on this, you will not rank, period, or you won't rank for long. Here's another tool per se, is Barry. No, Barry's blog. Barry Schwartz runs Search Engine Roundtable. He's been in SEO forever. I like to use this tool because it's very good diagnostically, because he, especially this Google updates, the category slash Google updates, because he always tells you here when he hears in the industry that there's been an update. It doesn't mean that he's correct, and it doesn't mean that that's accurate or complete. But if you had a big, huge shift on a date, then you want to check to see, like around April 26th, for example, then you want to check to see, oh, is this a manual penalty? You need to check that Search Console I showed you. Or is this an algorithmic demotion? You need to check, or was this like a special kind of penalty because I've been buying PBNs and our PBN network got hit or something? Or finally, was the entire industry hit? Is this a reported update? And then that'll help you might help you to start diagnosing what's going on, because he usually puts in here when the whole industry is complaining about something, he puts it in here, and you might be able to figure out based on what other people are doing and stuff like that. It might give you a bit of a clue as to what's going on. Oh, that's not the best process to figure out, to diagnose your SEO. You shouldn't be just making wild guesses. You need to join a scientific group that has a scientific methodology and a scientific process that is proven, scientifically proven to, how many times can I say science in a sentence? It's scientifically proven to, science. It's scientifically proven to boost your site, to actually get results. You want a process that's proven to get results. You don't want the, let me randomly guess a process, because that is not proven to get results, scientifically or otherwise. In fact, quite the opposite. So you need a rigorous academic level methodology, and that's what my group provides. Sorry, I didn't want to confuse people and make them think that I thought it was sufficient as a diagnostic process in SEO to go to Barry's site and start reading the random guesses that you'll find on the site from Barry and the people in the comment stream and start trying to diagnose your SEO issues that way. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that it might, if you've been hit, it might give you a little clue of whether everyone else has been hit, whether it was a core update. If you know the scientific ranking factors and you see everyone was hit, like this tells me a lot more information than the average person it tells. Like when I see there's been a major update on a certain time and I see a site was hit at that time, that immediately tells me, okay, it's a core update. I know core updates, I automatically have scientifically tested, and I know that core updates mean blah, and then I can fix blah. I can especially focus on blah and look for blah, as opposed to making random guesses and crazy guesses. So I just want to show this to you so people know it exists, so that it gives you a bit of a clue as to what's going on. But you still have to have a scientific process, a proven academic process that will get you recoveries. And last but not least, here's the last tool. This is the least important probably, but I do find it interesting. It's the natural language kind of advertisement page for Google, but they give you a nice little tool. They give you an API demo down here where you can analyze it. And you have to promise you're not a robot. And then down here, they're going to give you some interesting statistical kind of content vectoring analysis and natural language processing analysis of the different entities they found in that article and what kind of score they might give, various kinds of scores they're going to give to those words. And, that could be important for some reason. I don't know. Maybe you want a high score. Maybe you want a low score. Maybe you want relevancy. Maybe you want sentiment. Maybe you want syntax. Maybe you want categories. I don't know. I'm just saying that this is a nifty tool. Once you've done scientific testing and you start to realize what the ranking factors are here, this is a nice free tool that Google just gives you. And you're like, oh, great. Thanks, Google. And you can use it definitely to get more information. Another one is the Google keyword tool. Actually, it's part of Google AdWords. So you would go to the keyword planner home and you could do keyword research just right from Google that way. It was really, really good in the past, then it was not so good. Now it's getting back to not too bad. So for keyword planning, I definitely use the Google keyword tool. That's the one I would definitely check out. Google keyword tool it's inside Google AdWords. I don't want to log into my AdWords live on stream, but to show you all the ads I'm running. But oh no, what kind of ads are in? But it's inside there, and that's what you would want to check out. Okay, so now let's go here to the questions here. Let's see what else. Let's see what other sites we have here. Carrie Ann, you had Evings blog, esavingsblog.com. Okay, great. So I would love to run a screaming frog on this for you. That's what we will do. I'll run a screaming frogs on that. And while it's going, I just want to check the response time. And that's what I like to do is this is what your site's being hammered. You might be like, when your site's being hammered, how does it respond? It's one thing to test it with webpagetest.org when your site's just sitting there doing nothing. And it says, okay, this is the response times. It's another thing to be like when we're hammering your site and you're getting 170 requests, all pretty much at the same time. What is the average response time? And the average response time is great. Look how fast your server is. This is fantastic. 0.2 seconds for a response time. That's one of the metrics you need to track, one of the more important ones, but it's one of them out of 3. And that's a good response time. You're not going over to 2 or 3 or 3 to 4. So that's pretty good. We don't often see that. So that's a fantastic thing. And while that's processing, let me go up to here. Oh yeah, there was a Cora report I was running. So Cora's finished running now on this best mattress toppers. For those of you who've never seen Cora, let me go through and show you some of the data that it provides. So I would go into Cora report. I would go into best mattress toppers. You can see I've used it quite a bit. So here is the important thing as far as I'm concerned for Cora. It looks like this actually didn't work very well. Ignore all of this. Ignore roadmap, ignore basic tunings, ignore immediate tunings. And you would go right over to the overview. And in the overview is where you're going to get all the information of all the different factors that Cora is tracking and kind of what kind of factors you need to have here to try and rank number 1. And if I go down here and I go unhide, we're going to get all the different factors, even more factors that Google, whether Ted hides that for you because it didn't seem important or not, it has all the different factors in it. Look at all the different factors it's tracking. So that's fantastic. And if you know how to use Excel, then you know how to pull this data in. You can start doing pivot tables, just start listing them from the best to worst and stuff like that. So that's a fantastic thing to do. It also shows you the keywords that are being used and all the different pages littered in different ways, and the LSI keywords that are being used, and your deficit as well for different kind of things. Big, huge deficit in latex. Look at that. So anyway, this is great information as a measuring tool. Again, the measuring tape is not going to be useful to someone who doesn't know how to do carpentry, and the carpenter without a measuring tape is going to be equally useless. So you need to be an SEO who knows the academic process, the scientifically proven processes, the academic level processes, that kind of rigor, the scientific processes where you know what the ranking factors are and they're proven ranking factors scientifically. And then you can use measuring tools like Screaming Frog and Cora to measure what everyone else has got in Cora, or to measure what you've got in Screaming Frog, and Cora measures you too. And then do the math as to what you need to change, what you need to add, what you need to fix. And so Cora is just a beautiful tool. Is simply hands down the most important SEO tool. Once you become a carpenter, once you've learned what the scientific proofs are and the scientific ranking factors are proven to you, and you know what the ranking factors are, then you can use this tool. This is the best tool to measure them and measure what you need and what you need to do. So there, that I promised I would show what that looked like. So let's go here while this Screaming Frog here is still running. How much time do we have here? We have 20 minutes left. Okay, so let me see here. This Screaming Frog here for eSavings blog. So we crawled, what was it? Looks like we crawled 608 URLs. Fantastic. And that's just, oh, actually 608 pages because I got it set to HTML already. That's fantastic. It looked like the overwhelming response time was under a second. It was 0.26 seconds on average. That's good. So that's fantastic. So that is not such a worry. I would still run a speed test, but now you're going to get pictures of evidence. You're going to get pictures of information every stage of the audit, every tool you use, every glimpse you use. You're going to get one picture, you're going to get a different picture, you're going to put the pictures together, and that's going to give you an idea of what your work list needs to be to work on. And this is one picture, and it's a good looking picture. It's fantastic. To see other stuff here, let's see in response codes. Let's see in URL. In URL, I can do a URL search, and I see there are some, I can see parameters. That's going to tell me parameters immediately already. If I do parameters, these are the parameters you want to make sure these are not part of the main navigation, and they're not just some kind of login, it looks like. That's fine. Okay, so page titles, really quickly, I'm going to go through this. Under page titles, immediately we have some that are over 568 and some that are duplicate. You want to fix those immediately, you could just click this green bar and you could just immediately shuffle that off to or if ones that are missing or whatnot, off to your writers and get them to fix that. Also, if I'm looking at these titles, it looks to me like there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 different proven scientific boosters, that ranking factors, scientifically proved ranking factors that will boost you tremendously, that you are not taking advantage of here. At least 3, maybe 4 on some of them. So definitely email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. I'd love to give you more information about that, push you in the right direction, get you in contact with the right information as to what you need to do there to very quickly just add this and boost your site. Same with the meta description. Uh-oh, I see a bunch of tag pages here. Oh, that says missing. Okay, never mind. Oh, so there was some missing, but they just seem to be tag pages. That doesn't matter. That's not a good thing either. So I'm seeing one major ranking problem here already. So definitely contact me. That I would be teaching my mentorship students not to do. So Screaming Frog is good for that. I also see. Okay, I see this is pretty good. This is pretty good. There's missing ones you need to worry about. I would watch out for that. Meta keywords, good. You don't have any. That's fantastic. H1. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3. I see 3 different ranking factors that are scientifically proven that you're not taking advantage of here. So don't miss out on that. Email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. H2s. Okay. Those that could be fine. It depends on a couple of different things. Chronicles are set up. Good. That's a good thing. Structured data. Is there any errors? No, I don't see any errors. That's a good thing. Of course, when you do this, you'll have Analytics Search Console built in. You can see some data there and stuff like that there. Oh, I forgot to do the crawl analysis. Boom. Do the crawl analysis. Go back to here and look at the link score. So this is important. Again, this is just an idea of what percentage of your link juice that is flowing through your site. The link juice that is flowing through your site, both internally and externally, this is just a sense of where that's going. It's 100% is going to the freebie library. Clearly, that's your most linked page. It's linked all over the place. That's what you're telling Google. This is what's important on here to rank, Google. And like you're telling what's not important to rank is all these. These pages are not primed to rank on your site. So that's definitely something you want to fix. If these are pages here you want to rank, you see in green or anything under here, and I could keep going. If these are pages you want to rank, they are not primed to rank properly. Now, it depends. If like how much do you want this page to rank compared to the pages? I want it to rank about 7% care if it ranks. Okay, well, you've got the right amount of link juice going to it. But if you want these pages to rank just as much as you want these pages to rank, then you have mismanaged your internal link juice flow, and that would need to be adjusted and changed around. Let's also look at the visualizations. Okay. That's obviously some kind of error or mistake. That's probably wrong, and Google probably doesn't see it that way, but I would check your Search Console to make sure. That's one. See, it says one. You're going to get a bunch of diagnostic pictures. They're not all going to be. They're not all going to. They all support each other. This would make me now look at Search Console more closely to make sure that there's not like a JavaScript thing going on here, or like an indexing problem, or like Google's not reading your page kind of deal. I would definitely check that out. And then did it do the body text word cloud? It did. So this is what Google thinks your site is about and what it should be ranking for. Money. And read money. Money, read money. Is that what you want to rank for? This is what you're telling Google you should be ranking for. In terms of the entire site anyway, and what the site is about. So I guess it's probably is esavingsblog.com. I suppose maybe that's what that's supposed to be. But you might want to start reconsidering what the balance your content is talking about and what that might be telling Google and what's going on there. Okay, fantastic. So let's see here in the last 10 minutes. Okay, so let's go here to the okay. Walid Masood asked, what do if a client has two sites for the same work they do? Should we use canonicals or something else? So I'm going to the SEO questions now, in case I didn't say that. In case you're like, what was he doing? You definitely don't want to double up on sites. If you're going to have different sites, they have to be definitely very different, and they have to have different addresses and look like they have a different company. So Google will find sites that are duplicated, and it will truncate to one. It will penalize the other if it can find it, and so you're running a risk whether Google will find that or not. So what I would do, I would 301 to another site and run one site for sure. The more powerful one, I would take the weaker one and 301 into the more powerful one. This guy says, how to deal with spam hot linked image backlinks. I get much backlinks from spam sites with anchor text, full stop as anchor. What to do? To do nothing. There's nothing you want to do. I've tested linking extensively, and negative SEO through linking is nothing you need to worry about. Really is very hard for it to hurt your site. We have very, very powerful, scientifically proven link-based ranking factors that could give you a 3 to 5 times increase. And negative SEO on the flip side, I'll tell you. Email me if you want more information about that. But negative SEO on the flip side, I'll tell you, is not really something you need to worry about. I would ignore it entirely. Do not disavow it. Leave it alone and say thank you for the free link juice. Everything is fine until it bubbles up to a manual review. Everything is fine until, it's like asking me, Josh, should I worry about the secondhand smoke I breathe in when I happen to be walking by a guy at the mall who's smoking outside of a door? Nope. There's nothing you can do about that. And so just go ahead and keep living your life until the doctor says there's a problem. As long as you're living healthily, as long as you're not building these crappy links, there's no problem at all. Kelvin Lee Hunter says, "What's good, SEO family? All these tools I'm showing you are good. They're very good to use." Kelvin Lee says, "You mentioned blogs are not positive ranking factors. How would we structure non-service content without blogs?" there's a lot of mistakes with blogs and a lot of problems with blogs. Like one, calling them a blog, that gives you a certain content vector that you may or may not want to rank for. It depends on what you mean by a blog. If you just mean information pages, well, there's nothing wrong with informational pages if you want to rank for that informational query. There's all kinds of, once you do the scientific testing, you realize what the real ranking factors are. And you realize what really is going to help your site, what really how Google is ranking pages. And it's so far removed from thinking of a blog or not a blog. It has nothing to do with it at the end of the day, once you've really understand what the ranking factors are. And so I stand by my statement that you pretty much don't want to run a blog, because running a quote unquote blog on the vast majority of sites is not going to help you. That doesn't rank for anything. It doesn't mean you can't you can't have informational pages, and that doesn't mean you can't go for informational queries. But if you are just thinking of like I'll make a blog in WordPress kind of mentality, you really need to up your game. You really need to advance your game. You need to gain more scientific knowledge and a more thorough, academically rigorous scientific knowledge of the ranking factors that Google is using. Travis says, move a lot of people on this year. I imagine with all the messages that were retracted that there was some stuff going on there. I didn't see it. I was busy talking, so I have no idea what was going on here. Also, the question is, how important are text in the same paragraph, whereas backlink and anchor? Again, that's like asking, how important is calories? Calories are important, in various ways to various things. Again, it's, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it's like, that's like asking in martial arts, how important is moving this part of your body? Very important, probably. Like you're going to need to move your hip if you want to move your whole body over here to punch this guy or avoid being punched or to grapple with this person or to do this kind of thing. So you need to get in a comprehensive martial arts program that's going to teach you not only how to move that part of your body, but it's going to teach you how to move all the parts of your body and to understand why you're moving your body and what the end goal of moving your body is, to use a metaphor. So it's very important, maybe or maybe not. Again, you really need to understand how the ranking factors are working, and you really need to get a look at the scientific proof. There's no easy answer I can give there. And what do I think about Ubersuggest? I don't know off the top. I remember hearing about Ubersuggest, but I'm drawing a blank in my head. I can't remember what it is. Christopher Ramsey says, can you see manual actions if you've never had Search Console, like old site and just connect for client? Yes. Yes. So if it's still in the book, so to speak, if the manual action is still applied to the site, even if they've never had Search Console before, that's the way it used to work. And so I'm assuming it still works this way, even with the new Search Console. You can install Search Console, and then you can see whether or not there's a manual action. Little pro tip between me and you, Google does not always show that information there. Sometimes when they do special little manual penalties for sites that were caught in like a PBN scheme, for example, don't use PBNs, by the way, for that reason. If you need to acquire link juice, email me. I will tell you the safe ways to do it. Do not use PBNs. PBNs are crap for the most part. Blogs are crap for the most part. Silos are crap for the most part. None of that matters. None of that is, that's like asking me, how should I sharpen my spear when we're already in like submachine gun and pistol war level things. Like it's like what are you asking me? Like what century are you in? That is so like, you really need to up your game, really need to advance your game. I want you guys to rank well. I want you guys to kill it. I want you guys to succeed online. I don't want you to fail. Like I see so many people failing. I get emailed every week of people failing. I don't want you to lose your business. I don't want you to lose your websites. So email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com. I want to help you out. I want you to succeed. I want to use your examples. I want you to be one of the wins I put in bit.ly/SEO proof. You can win. You can do it. Email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com. But you need to get advanced. You need to get to the advanced level. advanced in terms of the research. The tactics are just, here's a list, do it. It's not like you have to do any math. I'm not going to make you do math on a whiteboard. That's not going to happen. I do all the math on the whiteboard, and I'll show you. Okay, so anyway, Max Dye says, PBNs, basic copywriting, UX, and a few on-page ranks your site. No need for nasty techniques. Again, I'm not really sure what happened previously with your guys' talkings, but again, I would avoid PBNs like the plague. Basic copywriting, no, sorry, that's just wrong. UX, yes, there I agree. UX is super, super, super important. So important. User experience is again one of those essential ranking factors that I'll tell you. I've been telling you. I will say right now. I'll give this information away for free. Is super important. You need to have analytics and Hotjar installed. You need. You can't leave it installed because it's going to slow you down. Hotjar will. But you need to install it. You need to find out what your conversions are. You need to improve your conversions. Then you need to remove Hotjar off your site because it'll slow you down. UX I can confirm scientifically that is good. Scientifically, nope. Scientifically, nope. Not necessarily. It depends. Scientifically, yes. Few on page, no. It's not that simple. It's not just like tweak your title tags and again. We're talking about sharpening our arrows when we're going to fight the American military that can bomb you from miles away with a Predator UAV drone. This is no offense, Max, at all in any way. I'm just saying this is very, very outdated, and you need to up your game for sure. And I'm sure you can. Email me at joshbrzezinski@gmail.com. I'd love to help you out. DDY says, but Cora, for example, equal cont, same big web shop category, and some article from HuffPost and some new blog, and all three sites rank for same term. Is it better just to watch metrics from if I make a blog article that need comparison with that format and not some big web shop category? Yeah, no, I understand. Cora is, again, it's not a fortune-telling tool. You need to know how to use it. But there are constant principles. That's why you can't go by Cora alone. Cora is not an SEO discovery tool. That is not the virtue of Cora. That is not the beauty of Cora. Cora is not, you can't go by the correlations and think you'll be good enough. You won't. You simply won't. Correlations help you in the stream. They don't start the stream. So you're not using Cora the right way there. The Cora is essential. You need to use those measurements, and it's important to see what Google is doing from those perspectives when you have different sites coming up, and you need to understand something called QDD, query deserves diversity, which means that for a particular search query, Google will give it a dearth of different kind of pages and sites. But that is so like 2010. It's even advanced from there and from then. So you need to, again, there's a scientific process and a rigor you need to approach it from that my mentorship group has proven. And that's a different kind of enlightened understanding of what's kind of going on there. And email me. I would love nothing more than to explain it to you. Whoever is curious about that, email me and I will point in the right direction. George asks, do you care about over-optimization? Yes, of course. If there is a measurement you want to be in, then being over would be important. But there's some things you have to worry about over-optimization, and there's some things you don't have to worry about over-optimization. Even the concept over-optimization is flawed. The concept of over-optimization is wrong. It's not over-optimization, it's just bad optimization. That's blowing my mind right now because I'm realizing what the real ranking factors are as we're doing the scientific testing. I realize that the concept of over-optimization is wrong. There is no such thing as over-optimization. There is bad optimization. So I will just, again, if part of the group, I will definitely love to explain that more. Dude, tell me your real name so I could say it. It says, just comment on spam backlinks. I see almost always in last year no change or boost from that spam backlinks. I'm not surprised, but almost always after a few months or half a year, sites go down and lose position. Yeah, well, that's for 80 million other reasons. That's just cause correlation fallacy. You cannot, your process is not scientific. Your diagnostic process is not scientific, so the results will not be scientific, so you will lose. That's just the way it is. There is a million other reasons why you lose rankings that have nothing to do with the spam backlinks. I'm telling you, I've scientifically tested it. There is nothing wrong with those spammy backlinks per se. There's some caveats there, but what you were talking about there are not a problem. His real name is Onyon. Onyon, is that it? Is it Korean? OGNJEN. Sorry. Challenge. I would accept the challenge, but you're absolutely right. I could see why. If you give me a phonetic spelling, I would love to refer to you properly. It looks to me like Onyon. That's what I would say, but I could be completely wrong. You're probably laughing your head off at my attempt to pronounce your name. Well, pronounce my last name. I always get this. This is what I get: BACHY and SKI. Unless you're Polish, you'll give it probably the proper pronunciation. Serbian. Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Tell me what the real pronunciation is. I'd love to get it right. So there, it's like so again. I'm not bashing on you. I'm not like blah blah blah. That's not my purpose here at all. But we have to be using and making scientific kind of determinations, and you know that's caused correlation fallacy. You know it is. I mean, it's like going to your doctor and say, oh, I have a cold now. 6 months ago, I was in the forest. Therefore, going in the forest gives you a cold. No. No, the two things do not compute. The two things do not relate to each other. That's the exact same kind of reasoning you're doing. You're just arbitrarily isolating one factor and thinking that it applies to another one in a superstitious frame of mind that is not scientific. So your entire SEO game, I'm telling you guys, if you want to succeed, I want you to succeed. Whoever is listening to this, if you want to succeed, you have to adopt a scientific methodology for your diagnostics, for your process, for your theory, on all levels. It has to be a scientific process on the diagnostic level. You have to have a scientific diagnostic process. You need to have a scientific theoretical understanding, and you need to be part of a group or be doing scientific testing on your own, or be part of a group that's doing scientific testing on their own that understands this new multivariate indexing and sorting environment that we're in. It's not just as easy as you see how your rankings fluctuate. So tell me what the proper rank position is. I know, because I've done the scientific testing to make Google stop doing the sorting. I can make Google stop doing the dancing. And that's how we know how we're doing our testing. We've rigorously tested our testing. Even other test groups haven't gotten that far to do that. They don't necessarily believe in it. They just go with a statistical proof, and the statistics can be wrong. Just like the stats said that Hillary Clinton would win the 2016 election. Well, the stats were wrong. She didn't. So statistical models can be off. They are not the start of SEO. They are part of SEO. They're not the start of SEO. Okay, I've been ranting here long enough. Let's see. David Langmead says, I got no follow on links on all internal links on WordPress. Do you know how to change it to follow? No, sorry, David. I don't know. I don't understand WordPress. It's probably part of your template. Go on Upwork and ask a designer who works on WordPress to help you. It would probably only cost you $100. Waleed says, is there any difference between local versus international SEO? In one sense, yes. And in another sense, no. In one, for the information ranking, no. There's no change. For the map-based ranking, yes. The map pack has its own set of ranking factors that are totally different. Javika says, my name is this. I'd love to know how actually you're supposed to pronounce that. I'm curious now. Give me a phonetic pronouncing of that, or how that's supposed to be pronounced, or I'll put it in Google here. Now I'm curious. Ognan pronounce. How do you pronounce it? Maybe let's go to this page. Oh, now it wants me to listen to something. I don't want to know the origin of it. Jesus. It's not. Oh, never mind. That was a rabbit hole. I should have never. Okay, Benjamin, who is also looks like he's Polish or Ukrainian. What is the best kind of backlink? Some SEO is thinking about homepage backlinks from age domains, from niche relevant. Do you think it's the truth? I know exactly what the truth is here. I know exactly what the truth is here from a scientific, proved beyond a shadow of a doubt perspective. I would love to share it with you. It would greatly boost up your SEO. You would not believe what we have found. You would not believe how easy it is. You would not believe how well you can succeed if you only knew the truth as to what the linking factors there were. You can't be guessing. If you're guessing at this level, that's like you went to work at CERN or the Large Hadron Collider and you're like, do you think that physics is real? You ask them that question. They're kind of like, How did you get here? You know, that's that's the kind of question. These are the kind of questions you cannot ask in SEO. You need to know the answers to these, or you're going to get eaten alive. I'd love to help you. I have the answer. I'd love to tell you. And Ted says, finally, what percentage of my students are small business owners? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. I have about 70 of them in the group. I don't know what percentage of them are small business owners. I'll have to ask. I'll have to ask. All right. So thank you very much, folks, for listening and paying attention. If you have any questions, you can email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. I would love to help you out. We have so much good information to share, and I would love for you to join our group and to join our happy family and learn how to do SEO and get wins yourself, like you saw me adding in earlier there today. For those about to rank, we salute you. Next week, I do believe is, let me check my calendar. Next week, I do believe I'm off doing a private course for next week I'm doing a private course for that mentorship group. So if you would like to get into my private course, email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. But I will see you in 2 weeks again. And as I like to say, good luck on the SERPs, and we'll see you next